you make something out of nothing. Mm-hmm. That comes with it's a battle. It comes with the territory. Like a lot of people don't understand what it's like to come from Southeast DC, Richmond, or Wickham Corridor, or wherever that place is, that tough place is, to climb the ranks.
What's going on, everybody? This is the Ground Up Podcast. I'm your host, Aaron, and this is
Keisha Rock.
episode 52.
Today, we're bringing you local Richmond creative, Derrick Smith, owner of Legacy Videography. Welcome, Derrick.
Hey, what's going on with y'all? How y'all been?
What's going on, brother?
Excited to have you here.
Excited to be here.
Yeah.
Excited to be here.
So I've noticed you on Instagram. It sounds like but it was funny. Before we got started, you like out of nowhere, you said, "How'd y'all find me?"
It's a good question. You gotta know. It's like, hey, how did you see me? Because it could be explore page. Somebody could share something. It could be in the story, and it's like,
yeah. No, it is good to know how people find you.
Yeah.
I should start asking people that. These days we get more people in our DMs. Yeah. Like, how you find me? No, but really, you just kept coming up.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest. You kept coming up. So many small business owners are using you for their videography.
Yeah.
And I looked into you, and I looked at your content on YouTube, and I said he's got a story to tell, and he's perfect for the podcast.
Okay. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Putting the plug in there. You know what I'm saying?
So I gave a very, very brief introduction.
Okay.
Where are you from?
I'm from Washington, D.C.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, Washington, D.C. So, been out here for, I'd say about 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Okay.
About 10 years now. So
You can say you're a little bit from Richmond.
I'll say that.
I don't know.
I mean, what's the year? I mean, 10 years.
A decade, I guess. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, dang, that's kind of disrespectful. But you know what?
Look, I go hard for my city.
Hey,
You got
ain't
to
nothing wrong with
roots. Got to be rooted. No,
That's
I'm kidding.
right. Ain't nothing wrong with that, though.
But give us a little background. How do you feel like your upbringing has impacted you to where you are today?
My upbringing, I would say having nothing, starting for nothing. I think that's the starting ground.
Yeah.
To everything. When you're limited with resources, and you have to make a way.
Yeah.
That's where I believe the creativity kicks in. When, how can I say this? You make something out of nothing. Mm-hmm. That comes with, it's a battle. It comes with the territory. Like a lot of people don't understand what it's like to come from Southeast DC, Richmond, or Wickham Corridor, or wherever that place is, that tough place is, to climb the ranks.
Yeah.
And to get the life. And they look at you like, somebody can look at me or look at y'all today, and it's like, oh, they doing well, they got the podcast, oh, he got his business going, but it's like, well, you don't know my story.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, look, Ground Up Podcast
yeah.
is the place to tell it, baby.
That's what we're here for. That's exactly what we're here for.
Okay, so, humble beginnings, maybe rough beginnings. What led you to entrepreneurship?
Well, honestly, even as a teenager, I would cut grass. We would have competitions about that, just getting money and, just playing around. So it's always been in me to want something more, and to go for it, not necessarily looking for a handout, but for the people that's helped along the way, extremely grateful for that.
Right.
But just knowing that you can produce more, you can do more
Yeah.
with what you have, and not, necessarily reaching or comparing with everybody else. It's like, look, this is what I got. I'm going to make it work, and I will add on to it. I'm not just going to be like, hey, I ain't going to do it because so-and-so got better equipment or they got a better following.
Right.
It's like, I'm going to work with
Still
what I
space
got.
for you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One Legacy Videography.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I like the name.
I like the name.
Legacy. I love
Well,
it.
yeah, tell us. Where did it come from?
Legacy. What do you think about life? What do you leave behind? After you cut the mics off, after you finish taking the pictures, after you finish doing the videos, it's like, well, what is it all about?
Yeah.
How are you remembered? Some people can be great in their craft and what they do and what they produce, but it's like, who are you? What do you have to give? What will people remember you by? So legacy for me is just knowing in my work and in my field And when I talk to the clients, the customers, if you want to say that, they know, okay, this is genuine. This dude, it's not just about the money or the job. It's like, it's more than that.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't do every job. I don't work with everybody.
Yeah.
Because it's like, that name in itself, it's like Legacy. And nothing against nobody, but it's like, I ain't gonna have no videos.
Was it always that way though? Because I know to me that's very important. If you are an entrepreneur, having the ability to select the right clients.
Right.
You know what I mean? But in the beginning, a lot of people feel like I gotta to anybody that comes. I need.
Yeah.
So like, was it always that way? How did you get to that place of I need to find the right person that to give my business to?
Well, in the beginning, you do take whatever comes because it's like, you're trying to.
It's like I'm trying to eat. I got to take the scraps. I got to get what I can get.
I got to eat. I got to get the scrap, but it's being intentional. Even in the beginning, it's like, I'm gonna do what I need to do to work, but at the same time, it's like, all right, how is this gonna look 2 years from now? How is this gonna look 6 months from now? So it's taking that approach and knowing who you're reaching out to. What's the purpose behind it? Like, what are you going to accomplish from this? Where's the business partnership going to go? So it's just that kind of mind frame. And, and shout out to everybody that's starting. You got to start somewhere, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you can be selective as you go along.
Right. And you can save yourself a lot of headache.
Yeah.
If you look for those red flags and listen to them especially when it comes to business.
Yeah.
So a moment, when was the moment when you made that decision, like, I'm going to only work with the clients I feel like I want to be selective with?
The moment, honestly, to try to point out a moment, I wouldn't be able to remember, but it's just.
So on like a situation?
It wasn't a situation really. It was just like, again, what's the intention? Well, where do you want this to go? Where do you want the business relationship to go? And just being in that mind frame, it's like, all right, be selective. Like, you don't want to go over here just doing any job. Let's see what's going to actually work and when you can build this with somebody versus just doing the job just to do it.
Yeah. So tell us more about, the business. How'd you get it started? And was this like a planned thing to go out on entrepreneurship or?
I wouldn't say it was planned. I was actually doing, I would say, taking pictures and doing videos for a while.
Okay.
But business-wise, I would say it kicked off this year as far as like legitimizing with the LLCs and getting all the things, the paperwork in place. But this year, I was working with a company and I actually had a back injury. And this was my second one within like the last year. So, deciding what I was going to do to make an income. It's like, my wife mentioned, she was like, why don't you do the videography? And it was one of those things where I'm just like, what? I ain't trying to do that. That's not something that was on my mind. I'm like, I'm going to go do something else. But then I started thinking about it. I'm like, man, you know what? You really do a good job with this. Why don't you dive in and investigate it more? And when I did that, it just took off. So I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
This is a thing. And I think sometimes we have stuff in us, but sometimes we don't take the time to explore it. It's like, what do I have? Why is it why do I know how to edit? Where did that come from? It's just like the mind frame to have. How do I know how to work a camera? Like, it's those little things that sometimes we ignore, but it'd be the very thing that leads to something that you would never thought would be possible.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that answered your question or not.
No, absolutely. Above and beyond.
Yeah.
Okay. So you said this past year is when you've like legitimized it. What made you, let me ask you this, because I feel like with creatives, with creative pursuits, it's really easy to, not legitimize it.
Right.
So what made you say, okay, I need to, get my LLC. I need to put my rose in a duck and make this, quote unquote, the right way?
Well, I say in a professional matter, it's like you stepping into these corporations and it's like,
come correct.
who are you? What do you have? Where are your credentials? And it's like, well, I have them. Everything is in place. So it's confidence walking into a room. It's like, okay, let's get this contract signed. It's not just like, oh, give me a couple $1 on the table and we can go about our business.
Right. Yeah.
Let's get this right.
So you feel like once you did that, you started moving differently too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where that came from. The question earlier when you asked me, it's like, what made you choose a certain job? It's like, yeah, well, I'm moving differently now. And, once the paperwork and things is in place, you can move like that.
Yeah.
Because again, at the beginning, you just trying to establish your name, let people know who you are. But it's like, once I'm legit,
you kind of walk in that room like, I deserve to be here. Like, I'm legit. I'm a business, and I'm going to operate and move like a business.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
How has your faith played a role in your entrepreneurship journey? I know I mentioned earlier when I found you on Instagram, one of the pages you were associated with was super inspirational.
Yeah.
It was very faith-based. So I feel like that question is relevant for your journey, is it?
It is. And the question again was, how's my faith?
Your faith, played a role in your entrepreneur journey.
Big time.
Yeah.
You got to think, again, when I had the back injury and, just laying on the floor waiting for the ambulance to come, to take me to the hospital and, going through that and saying, okay, God, what's next? You know what I mean? My wife she's working, of course, but it's like, what do you want me to do? Because I've been doing manual labor as far as lifting stuff for years.
Yeah.
Facts.
So it's like,
I looked over at Aaron, y'all.
it's like, what?
It takes, I can understand that. I'm sure your wife can understand that too, because we're so young. We're in our early 30s, but there's a point where I looked at him one day when he was working for Pepsi. I'm like, is he supposed to do this for until he retires?
Yeah.
And and Aaron would come home and talk to me about his coworkers who were older and still doing it. And he's like, Keisha, it ain't a good look.
Pepsi, like they was 20-some years old.
Yeah.
Knee braces, back braces,
all that stuff.
And I'm like, yo, this is what I'm looking forward to.
Nah.
Like they come to work limping.
Yeah.
And so like a big thing for him was like, okay, I don't want to use my body for the rest of my life to get paid.
Exactly.
I might not be, he might not be, let me go work in an office in a suit type of guy, but he has a creative mind and he's learned how to use that now to, make money. Okay. So I see that. We relate.
That's good. And, to hear that, the relatable story, it's like, I don't want to be injuring, because you only got one body.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you only got one life to live.
That's it. So it's like, find those things that matter. And let me just say this. When it comes to faith, I had to step out on faith to say, you know what, God, I want to do this. And wherever it takes me, I'm willing to go. Ooh. Wherever you take me, I'm willing to go. Now, mind you, it's only been about 6 months.
I know. I keep getting these early birds lately.
It's been 6 months. So I'm like, you've been going hard for 6 months.
And look at you already on your first podcast.
I'm like, hold up, ground up. I seen the DM. I'm like, wait a minute now. What's going on?
You caught my eye.
On that, though. Let's not take light.
No, I'm not. Yeah.
6 months. I feel like a lot of us in the world, we got woken up.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The pandemic woke us up.
That's right.
It led us to think, more creatively. Yeah. How we gonna figure this out? How we gonna make it?
And I don't take light on it either, because 6 months, yes, it's early on into your business, but man, there's people listening, and I'm rooting for y'all.
Yeah.
But there's so many people out here with ideas that it's been 6 months since they said they were gonna start. And they haven't.
Yeah.
Facts.
So,
I mean, don't get me
getting going. Like, just start.
I don't want to start preaching because I can go there, but it's that thing, man, where you just take action.
Yeah.
Like
one step after another.
Michael White, I don't know if you know him, and he's a comedian. He told me one time, he said, the magic of consistency is having people talk about you when you're not in the room.
Ooh.
And it's like, whoa, okay.
Like they see you working.
Right.
Yeah.
In a good way. So just like guys like, hey, we want you to come to the podcast. And it's like, I don't even know y'all, but y'all seen something.
Yeah, I saw you working.
And it's like a lot of people, I talk to people sometimes and it's like, oh, well, not even talk to people. I see it. It's like, I'm going to take a break from social media. Things are just blah, blah, blah. And it's like, people don't care.
I know. I bless their hearts. But when people tell us they're taking a break, or the worst is like back in the day on Facebook when they'd be like, if you made the cut on my friends list after I just chopped my lip.
Yeah.
People don't care.
People do not care, but it's understanding that and having that mind frame.
I will say this though, social media can be heavy. It does bear a lot of weight in today's society. So I'm all for, if you need a break, take a break. Right. Do you?
But you ain't gotta announce it to the world.
Yeah.
But I'm not even that type of person even, because I honestly don't even care if you post that.
Yeah.
That's how much I don't care, but I get it.
Yeah, I get it.
You need to take a break.
And it's not the break, I think, and I don't think it's like for sympathy points, but when it comes to something you're supposed to be doing. Like, it's almost like a mandate. You're not going to see a post from me like, I'm taking a break, guys. I had to, get my mind together. It's like, no, you need to do what you got to do.
Yeah,
like,
take care of yourself.
When you're called
first and foremost.
when you're called to a platform, it's like, do your job. People want to see, are you going to deliver, or a month from now it's like, oh yeah, well, you started something but you didn't finish.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
So it's
you can go as slow as you want to go.
You can,
but
you can.
You don't stop.
Because people, you stop and it's like, where'd so and so go? And then they forget about you.
Yeah.
So it's like, keep your
even when we take break, we took the summer off from the podcast, but I say that so loosely because we got into our community, went to a lot of events and networked,
and that's good. That's good.
Met people and shared the podcast. So we were still working, but just in a different way. But my point is even just taking that break off, the 2 months off, I was so nervous in the back of my mind that I wouldn't come back. I was nervous that I would slip into that, back into my daily routine or what my life used to be.
Right.
And just kind of be one of them pages that all of a sudden goes ghost, you know? And I was like, no, I am not. I'm gonna fight that thought. I'm gonna fight that want to just kind of throw in the towel when, you got to keep going. You got to see where this is going to lead. And we're still so early on, and so many people.
Right. It being early on, so many people, like you was going to say, telling us, we appreciate what y'all doing. We like what y'all doing. Keep going.
Yeah.
And I think that, woke her up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got her.
Oh, I'm woke after this live show, y'all. That was such a highlight in my life. I'm woke. I'm ready to keep going and stay focused. But this is not about me.
No, because it's good for the people to know.
It's good for the people to know.
And
Exactly.
That's the stuff where, the inspiration comes from. It's like, look, it ain't always easy, or I'm not always inspired to do it. But in spite of that, I do it anyway because 95% of the things that you have to do, you don't want to do. But it's taking that time to say, I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah, and someone has said to, I'm lying right now. I actually heard it on a podcast.
So what's it?
I was like, why am I about to lie about this? I heard it on a podcast. It's a mind perspective change. We have to shift into we don't have to do anything.
Exactly.
We get to.
Exactly.
I get to use my creative juices and I get to learn from people and share people's stories. I get to do this.
Definitely.
So when I had a switch in my brain, this isn't something, it's not chores, it's not a half, no one's forcing me. A lot of the stuff that we get stressed out about and get overwhelmed about, we got to change the way we're thinking about it. We get to do these amazing things. We get to make these, amazing moves with our lives, and we get to figure it out.
Yeah, that's good. That's good that you say that. I think an added bonus when you talk about the faith to actually do a thing, it's like you don't see this is added along the way. It's kind of like the story with Ruth, the grain of wheat. As she walked, she got that wheat. As she did a thing, stuff came along.
Yeah.
But it wasn't sitting back being like, oh, okay. Well, I guess it's going to come by faith. It's like, no.
You have to take action.
When you take action, that's when you see it and stuff pops up and it's like, okay, I'll take that, God. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
All right. So how has building relationships played into your journey thus far?
Business-wise?
Yeah, business-wise.
Majorly just, again, getting to know people outside of, the invoice, outside of the storyboard. It's like just talking to people.
Yeah.
Just keeping the communication open beyond just the normal business chit-chat. It's just keeping it open.
How are you getting business? What's your, I don't know, how are you finding clients? How's it coming to you? Because it's happening.
It's happening.
I see the content.
It's definitely happening. Some people just reach out to me.
Yeah.
Some people I reach out to, but more lately, people.
Why do you think people are just reaching out to you so early on?
The word.
Yeah.
Being consistent, sticking with it, and knowing that if you put something up, it's out there forever. So don't just throw anything up just because it's like put some thought into it.
Yeah.
Put some energy, put some time into it, and make sure it's right, and make sure you're satisfied with it. And as far as the clients, word of mouth is another thing. Like when somebody's like, hey, I know so and so, he does this, he does a great job. Boom. And it's like they call me and it's like, all right, let's go. And it's like, okay, it works. So that the saying I had, the magic of consistency, is having people talk about when you're not in the room. That's where that comes from.
Yeah, I love it. There's a new business in town.
Golden Touch Mobile Detailing.
If you're in the Richmond, Virginia area and tired of riding dirty,
Or you appreciate a deep clean.
Book an appointment with Golden Touch Mobile Detailing. It's not your average car wash. Full interior and exterior cleaning. And Golden Touch Mobile Detailing comes to you.
It's the attention to detail to make you a returning customer.
Follow the Instagram at Golden Touch RVA and book your appointment.
I guarantee you'll be riding clean.
So I know a lot of the times with like industries like yours, videography, photography,
Right.
you got a skill, and your skill is the craft. But now you're making it a business.
Right.
How have you taken on that transition? What skills have you had to learn to operate as a business?
I would definitely say contracts.
Yeah.
Contracts is very big for me. It's like I don't do a job without them.
Yeah.
It's like, look, the terms, what we talked about. So let's go ahead and get it in black and white so we can move forward with it. So there's no confusion and there's no assuming. I thought you were going to do this. It's like, nah, well, we talked about it and here's the legal binding document
Yeah.
to get it together. So the business side is really, taking its own road and has taken off. So, yeah, I would just say just getting contracts. That's the number one thing for me.
Are you a one-man show? Do you have any help?
Right now, it is just me.
Yeah, so you're juggling a lot of hats.
Yeah, a lot of hats. And you know what? Even with that, it's like you have to see it for yourself. It's like it has to be written down. I seen something the other day. It's like you're the accountant, you're the this, you're the that. And it's like you have so many different things you're doing. But when you're in the flow of it, you're not really thinking about that. You're just doing
What you have to do.
But along the line, you start to get the people to come in to do the books. I need you to do this. Hey, I need to hire you for that. And it's coming. But it's just for right now, it's like you got to get out there and hit the ground. And, the business is going to carry you after a while.
Yeah.
Versus you just having it on your back and feeling like, oh, I got to do everything. So.
Yeah, I love that. What's one thing that's working really well in the business, and what's one thing you're working to improve upon?
One thing that's working very well. It's a good question. I would say showing up, and actually having the places available where I go. It's like, yeah, you guys can come here and shoot. That's working very well. I would say.
So people are open to having,
Open, yeah, they're open to have us there to, get the scenes we need to work on. I think for me, it's like not getting too many scenes when I'm out and filming.
Yeah.
Because it's like in my head, it's like, hey, we're going over here, and it's like I can kind of see how to make it work.
Yeah.
But it's like sometimes you can overfilm.
Oh, okay.
It's
yeah.
like to keep it, in post-production.
Yeah, because then post-production, it's like it's overworking. You're
Yeah.
overworking editing.
And it's like, you want to make sure you got exactly what you need. And it's like, okay, so get that scene twice so you got options. So that's my biggest thing right now. It's like, just make sure you get what you need and don't overdo it.
Right. That makes sense. What's been the most challenging thing about starting your business?
The most challenging thing, to be honest, with starting, I think it's believing in yourself. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I remember I told my wife, I had my personal page and I was just doing something, because I rap too. I do
Okay.
some rap and stuff, but that ain't,
So I was ready when I called you local creative.
Yeah.
Not just videography, photography. He's a rapper too, y'all.
You know what I'm saying? So when he was like, do the microphone and everything, I was like, yeah, I'm used to the microphone. I know how that.
Aaron, you had to have him check the microphone. You ain't know.
Nah. But all jokes to the side, honestly, I lost my train of thought. The question.
Yeah. Look, what is wrong with me today?
It was something about
The most challenging on starting the business.
Getting started, I would say believing in
You ain't
yourself.
got to edit out that here.
Nah, leave it in there.
Leave it in there. Leave it in there. Okay.
human.
So the biggest challenge you're saying is believing in yourself.
Believe in yourself. Because like I said, what I was saying was, I
But
told my wife.
how did you do? Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
I was like, because I had my personal page up, and I was like, all right, I started my business page, Instagram, with Legacy, and I was like, man, starting over, it's so hard sometimes.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I got to start from scratch, but it's so funny, like, within, like, the first 5 minutes, I had, like, 3 followers, and I was like, oh, okay. So that was it, believing in yourself and knowing that it's going to happen. You're going to have those thoughts. You're going to have those challenges, but it's like, you know what? Regardless of that, I'm going to do it anyway, so.
I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, that leads me to, what have you learned about yourself?
just as far as the entrepreneur journey.
Yeah, just about like who you are to actually, you took, a moment when your body was, you were going through a lot, and then you turn that into, I'm going to go out on faith, and I'm going to take action. I'm going to start my business using a craft. Like, I'm already telling you what I learned about you, but what do what have you learned about yourself through this journey?
In all humbleness, I would say about myself, I learned I'm the picture of determination.
Ooh.
You understand what I'm saying? It's like, you have to see that. It's no validation needed for that. And that's only because of the work that's getting put in.
Yeah.
It's like self-motivation. I think it was one of the questions in the thing you sent me. It's like, what's your inspiration, what's your motivation? It's just like, it's self-driven.
It's self-driven.
Like, because you can listen to all the podcasts, all the videos, you can read all the books, but it's like,
you got to have something in you.
You got to have something to get up in the morning
Yeah.
and to continue to do a thing and not stop because you don't feel good.
Yeah.
It's like, keep doing it, because you don't know who's down the road that needs to see it.
Ooh, preach, Derrick.
So, that's how I look at it. And like I said, it's not all business. So you see get through this week page. It's not all business. I'm not just putting up pictures of nice restaurants or this or just doing the video. It's like, no, I want to speak to your soul and your spirit. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, after you've seen the Eiffel Tower, it's like, I'm still depressed. I'm still going through. Like, I need a word. And it's like, okay, I could bring you a word too. So I think that's diversifying your portfolio in a sense. But it's like, don't forget where you started. Like, what got you going as far as like speaking to people and doing that? Because I took a break. For a while. I deleted all my social media. So I really did start fresh and coming back around. And it took some, just a lot of stuff, just understanding who I was and the seasons in life. Because things change. You could be in one place doing one thing and you're set on it. You think you're about to be doing this, and then it shifts. Yeah. And it's like, who am I today? Yeah. Who am I right now in this moment? And I think that's the pivotal time to, be quiet for a minute. Yeah. And say, all right, what we going to do going forward? We got to do something to go forward. And when you figure it out, that's it. You just run with it.
I don't even know. It's dope.
Yeah. I'm honestly speechless. Yeah. And I always got something to say. But just so much of what you said, all I can say is amen, hallelujah, facts, all those things. Anything, I know it's, like I said, it's been 6 months, but anything you want to make sure people know about your journey, about your experience, and about just who you are as a business person? As a business person, as a person in my journey, I would just say, just focusing on delivering. That's the biggest thing. Just deliver. Don't get caught up, and what's not working, who don't like it, or they ain't like my post on Instagram. Oh man, they ain't shared. It's like, that stuff, likes don't matter. Like, that stuff don't matter. It's like, let them see it. Like, even if they don't like it, they don't push that button. They looking at it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's looking at it, and it's like, look, just be you. Be you and present whatever you're supposed to present. Yeah. You said earlier, people need to see you. Like, and I think that's just so that touches me, because I just feel that I'm always reminding myself of that. Like, when I don't want to be on camera or it's just little things, I'm just like, people need to see you. They need to see someone who is fully embracing who they are and fully delivering on their gift. Yeah. And we can't hide away from that, Nah, a lot of people hide behind their brands. So they put a bunch of stuff up and it's like, where you at? Yeah, where you at? Yeah, I'm camera shy. And it's like, people want to see the face. Yeah. They want to see you. It's like, okay, you do this. And I just think, using when you are able to like live in your light and get and put off your light by living in your purpose. Right. And I know that changes, and we all try to figure out who we are. But as long as we're making the next best decision, people see that around you, and it inspires them to do the same in their life. Exactly. And it's not a competition, but I do believe we should inspire people by the way we move through life. Exactly. Yeah, I'm deep too, huh?
Because you got me.
I'm just matching your vibe, Derrick. I'm matching your vibe.
I think the thing about it is what you just mentioned about competition. Like, that can be a sticky situation right there. Because everybody is looking. Like, social media is set in such a way where it is like,
oh yeah,
look
all
what
the
I did.
highlights.
Yeah, look what I did. I did this.
Highlights.
I did it bad. Look, yeah. Who gonna top that? So competition, man, I think it's foolishness.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Only one we compete with is ourselves, our
Look,
past versions of ourselves.
Yeah, I think it's foolishness because honestly, when you think about it, somebody that's quote unquote on a different level, it's like they're on that level. And you're right here. But there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Do your thing right here. Because your goal is not to get to where they are. Your goal is to, just go and enjoy your journey.
Yeah, and get to where you're meant to get to, you know?
Yeah. So,
Facts.
yeah.
All right, Derrick, what advice do you have for people with entrepreneur dreams to help them get started?
Just do it like the Nike. That's the Nike
Just
slogan.
do it.
Just do it. And it sounds so simple, but let me break it down. Get the business plan. Write it down. Write the stuff out instead of just like having it in your mind. Because a lot of times that's where we leave a lot of dreams, thoughts, ideas. It's right here in our minds.
Yeah.
Write that stuff down, man. And the thing about writing it down, weeks, months, years later, you can always go back and check it off. Like, oh, I did that. Oh, man, I remember I was trying to save up for that piece of equipment. Or I was trying to meet this person. Write it down. But get started. Don't let nothing stop you because there's going to be a bunch of things.
Yeah.
A bunch of things that's going to try to stop you from progressing or even getting started, your own self included.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And the biggest mistake people tend to make is to think that they have to have all their ducks in a row. Yeah. And they have to have it perfectly planned out,
Just start, man.
Oh, boy. You'll learn as you go that so many things are going to come up that you have to readjust, that there's no point in thinking you have to have it all perfectly laid out.
You just got to do it. And that's the biggest thing.
All right. What advice do you have for business owners to help them keep going? So already started.
Yeah, know what the mission is. Don't forget that. Review it. Go back and look at it, and that's the biggest thing because after you're doing the flea markets or the markets and you're selling stuff and you got to show up again, it's like just keep going. Give yourself that reminder of why you're doing it, and that goes a long way because honestly, again, it's not always easy to stay consistent and to keep thinking, how can I keep inventing and doing it, but in that, I think when you release something, that's when more comes in. But it's just like when you're just holding it in, it's just like, all right, well, it's like, no, release it. Keep going, keep showing up, keep doing these things. And then that's when you get that motivation or that wind under your wings to keep going.
Yeah.
Just keep showing up.
I love it. All right. And where would you like to see One Legacy Videography, in the future?
What would I like to see?
Yeah, what would you like? What's your vision?
Legacy Videography LLC. Film.